Have you ever wondered about video game cases? See, when I say video game cases, I mean the packaging that it comes in. Because sometimes you get things like the NES that comes in a cardboard box for no reason. Why? Who knows? Let's get into more depth on video game cases. So if we go all the way back to the Atari, and even before that, so can't think of the name of it, but whatever came before the Atari, the first generation and second generation, they used cardboard boxes, but these cardboard boxes didn't necessarily say that they were for the Atari or the ColecoVision or the other ones. They all had very similar boxes and could very easily confuse customers when buying video games. So, you might wonder, why am I only talking about the first two when the NES also uses these cardboard boxes? The thing with cardboard boxes, by the way, if you buy it, you're more likely to chuck out the cardboard box and just keep the little cartridge, like just the cartridge. This is Super Mario Bros. 2. But why is that? Who wants a random box of cardboard lying around their house? Anyway, I digress. When we get to the NES, there's actually labeling on the case. You can't see it from this camera, but trust me, it says Nintendo Entertainment System. This is so you can tell the difference between different games. So, if you wanted like an Atari game or a Sega Master System game, you would know that it's an Atari or a Sega Master System. And same with the NES. This was a thing that kind of started in the third generation of consoles. But then, of course, we move on to the fourth generation, which was the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis, or Mega Drive, depending on where you're from, and also Super Famicom, depending on where you're from. I'm going to use the Super Famicom box as an example, because it's what I have. The boxes look different, but it still applies. So, the Super Famicom box. This is Donkey Kong Country 3, or as it's known in Japan, Super Donkey Kong Country 3. And then some other stuff at the bottom that I can't read. You will see there's a little Famicom logo in the corner. This Famicom logo in the corner is once again here to tell the difference between the games. Pretty simple, am I right? But you see, it still comes in these flimsy little cardboard boxes that people chuck out, except for my Super Famicom collection apparently, because most of them are boxed. Whatever. But Sega, they knew what they were doing.
Nice.
Shouldn't have dropped that. Have a look. See, this is the game Columns. The Sega Mega Drive game. It's a puzzle game. You know how it be. The Sega Mega Drive games came in these plastic cases that you could open like a VHS. And it's very easy to store, because you're actually probably going to keep that. But then later in the generation, for some reason, they went back to cardboard boxes, weirdos at Sega, I don't know. But whatever. Let's move on to the Nintendo 64, or the 5th generation. I know I'm not talking about portable consoles, they're just in cardboard boxes. The 5th generation, Nintendo stuck not only with cartridges, but with cardboard boxes. This is Star Wars Episode 1 Racer in awful condition. I bought it in this condition. And why would they stick to cardboard boxes? Because once again, everyone is going to chuck out their boxes. This is a Japanese box. It does say it's a Nintendo 64 game, and so does that one. Same logo, this box is slightly different. But then you move over to their competitors over at PlayStation. Let's see what they're doing. CD cases. This is Rayman 1 by Ubisoft. Back when they had a space between Ubi and Soft. And it's in this little CD case. Granted, Europe has these awful CD cases that like fall apart when you open them. I don't know why, but it's still something that people will keep around. I do have a few loose PlayStation games, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, then we move on to the GameCube generation. This is where things get wacky. This is Mario Party 4, as you can see, in Australia, almost everywhere, comes in these plastic cases. Cool. What's the competition doing? Let's have a look. That's not a good example. Real World Golf, an NTSC copy. I'm kind of wacky like that. Plastic cases. More breakable. than GameCube ones, but, you know, it's a plastic case. And then we have the Xbox. What's the Xbox doing? Oh, plastic cases! Finally, the world has agreed on using plastic cases, which are easier to store, but are worse for the environment. That's where you would be incorrect. This is a Japanese GameCube game, Animal Crossing Plus, because Animal Crossing originally released on the Nintendo 64. That's it, it's a very bad looking case, but it's Animal Crossing, or Animal Forest as they called it there. You see, it comes with this plastic sleeve, and then not plastic sleeve, this like cardboard sleeve with a plastic box inside. What are you doing, Nintendo? Like, I'm sorry, but what the hell's going on over here? But that, you know what, that's fine. The Wii. I've got like 50 Wii games over here, you can just see them for yourself. Plastic cases. The same size as a GameCube case. What's Xbox doing? Plastic cases. This is a bad game, Sonic Freeriders. What's PlayStation doing? It's actually a bit more interesting. The PlayStation 3 uses Blu-ray technology. This is Killzone 2. They use these Blu-ray look-alike cases. They say Blu-ray at the top. They're just Blu-ray cases with the Spider-Man font. If you got Killzone 2, I guess. And then the PlayStation 3's like case design evolved over time. It gets a bit weird. Whatever. But then the next generation, I forgot what number it is. I think it's 8. PlayStation you're still going with Blu-ray. This is Anthem. I have never played this. I got a Blu-ray case. What's Xbox doing? Thinner Blu-ray case, Minecraft. What's Nintendo doing? They're not following a trend. They're just doing the good old big plastic case. This Bayonetta. Also never played it. But then we move on to the Switch, which I guess is technically... We've moved to smaller cases. Now these aren't the same old plastic case. Oh no. And these aren't Blu-ray cases. These are their own special thing. It is bizarre. The same they're doing the same thing. They couldn't think of an idea. What's Xbox doing? I only have one Xbox. It's a bit different, but it's basically the same. This is LEGO Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. Technically also for the Xbox One and Xbox Series X, because it does both. And these use the Xbox branding, which originally started on Burger King games. Little fun fact for you. Wow, exclusive Burger King games for the Xbox and Xbox 360 just had Xbox on the side of the case. Anyway, that is the history of video game cases.